The Dateable podcast is an insider's look into modern dating that the Huffington Post calls one of the top 10 podcasts about love and sex. I'm your host, Yue Xu, former dating coach turned dating sociologist. You'll also hear from my co-host, Julie Krafchick. On each episode, we'll talk to real daters about everything, from sex parties to sex droughts, date fails to diaper fetishes, and first moves to first loves. We are excited you've joined us for an older episode. While our earlier seasons were all about dating in San Francisco, we quickly realized all the themes and learnings are universal for all daters. So we shifted to covering dating from all around the world as the seasons progress. The fun part is, things happen first in San Francisco, the tech epicenter and counterculture capital of the world. We love for you to keep tuning in to our older episodes, but there is no set order to listen in, so feel free to jump to more recent seasons or relevant episodes for you. Enjoy the show.
I was so excited to get my shipment from Last Bottle Wines in the mail the other day, full of incredible red wines, all from Napa Valley. I love wine tasting, so having this to my door couldn't be happier. Also, couldn't be more excited that today's episode is brought to you by Last Bottle Wines. If you don't know already, they're a Napa-based online wine shop with a twist. They offer just one handpicked wine per day until it sells out, and they're always at incredible prices. We're talking 30 to 70% off retail. And the best part is that there's no subscriptions, no fees, and no minimum purchase. And I could not be more excited to bring this offer right now because they're having a marathon sale, which is coming up March 28th and 29th. Even better, we're offering Dateable listeners 10% off your first order with code DATEABLE. So if you are a wine lover like me, this is a great time to join. And did I mention that shipping is 100% free? So what are you waiting for? Mark your calendar for March 28th and 29th, or get on it earlier if you want. You can sign up at lastbottlewines.com and use code DATEABLE and find out why Last Bottle is the most fun way to discover and buy amazing wine. We are so thrilled to be partnering with Hinge. Hinge is the dating app designed to be deleted. As you all know, I'm a huge Hinge advocate as I met my partner of almost 3 years on the app. Even before meeting him, Hinge was always my go-to app because I met more relationship-minded people here and had some great dates. Clearly, I haven't been on the app for a little while, but I re-downloaded it to check out some of the new features. One that stood out to me was the voice prompt, my best friend's take on why you should date me, where your friend can hype you up. Not only does this make the profile creation less daunting, but it's not always easy to see your own green flags. So to test it out, I asked Yue some fun prompts to get her take on what I could put if I was dating again. So the first one, how long have we known each other? What was your first impression of me and how has that changed?
Julie and I have known each other for almost 10 years. My first impression of Julie was that she's very social, but I've learned that she has a lot more depth to her beyond the social butterfly that she is.
My next prompt, what do you think are my green flags?
I would say she's deeply loyal. She believes in love, curious mindset, and she is fearlessly ambitious.
And then last but not least, what kind of friend am I?
Julie is the kind of friend who will always have your back, no matter what.
Damn, that feels nice to hear. So download Hinge and try voice prompts today. Then find someone worth deleting the app for.
This episode of Dateable is brought to you by 500 Brunches. Meet like-minded people who share your interests over brunch.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Dateable, a show that opens up a candid conversation about dating in San Francisco.
And right beside me today, folks, we have the wonderful, talented, and amazing UA.
Woo woo! And right beside me, we have the bearded man now, Michael Vargas, who's also equally as amazing and talented. On each episode, we dissect a dating story. So this dating story could come from a guest that comes in, or one of us has a dating story, or maybe our producer, Julie.
I believe we have a bit of a story from someone today, don't we?
Yeah, we have a guest on. Her name's Shirley.
Shirley.
Shirley, are you there?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, Shirley, what's your story?
Okay, so this actually happened a few years ago, and it's not all that surprising now, which is the sad part, but I'll tell you and I'll let you guys tell me what you think. But a few years ago, I decided to join Match.com. So I was kind of just sick of like the typical dating, wanted to meet some new quality men. So the problem was I wasn't having the best of luck on Match. But then one day, this guy messaged me and I felt like I just like hit the jackpot. Like he had like a really great job in like technology, went to an Ivy League school, like the whole package. So I was super excited. We messaged back and forth. His profile said that he was really trying to like get to know someone to have like a deep and meaningful relationship. So I felt like finally met that relationship-minded guy.
Very nice.
So yeah. And then finally, he gave me his personal email and phone number. So the next day I got a message from him in my Match account just asking if I wanted to meet for a drink that night. So I messaged him and I was like, actually, I can't do tonight, but I would totally be down to like meet for a drink another day. So I get this message back like 10 minutes later. And he's like, I actually saved these text messages, so I'm going to pull them up right now. I get a text message from him that's like, I'm actually going to be in Miami next week. If you free up tonight, maybe we could hook up if you're drinking and get in the mood.
If you're drinking.
So, I mean, I thought it was a little odd, but I also like tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I was a little naive back then. So I texted him back and I was like, sounds good. If not, like, let's connect when you get back. Have a great trip. I get a text message back from him and it says, okay, nice. I liked your picture and you seem like a nice person. I'm glad you weren't offended by what I just said. If you do get in the mood tonight, I'm sure I could do my best to make you feel good. You are hot.
Whoa.
So I was like, okay, this guy's definitely persistent, and I definitely interpreted the earlier ones as sexual, even though I was trying to like pretend they weren't. If there was room for debate, I got another text from him. And I just want to actually reiterate before I tell you this, that this is now 10 a.m. like on a Saturday. Like this is really early in the morning. Yeah, like I haven't even had a coffee yet. Like I'm like waking up, you know?
Yeah.
So I get a text message from him that says, you seem like the type of girl I wouldn't mind going down on. Do you like that sort of thing?
Or perhaps going downtown to Powell.
No, you know what he meant. Anyway, so I was like, is this really happening? Like, am I engaging in a one-way sexting at 10 in the morning?
Shirley, I just want to clarify, did you have any vagina photos on your Match profile?
No. I was like there looking for like a legit relationship. I mean, it's Match too, like Tinder maybe, but yeah, no.
So instead of wake and bake, he did wake and sext.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, like, I'm not a prude person. Like, if I'm in a relationship, I like the sexy banner. But, like, and it's like, right, at least let's have a drink and let's save it for, like, 10 p.m., not 10 a.m. Why I'm bringing this story up, too, it's like, this was Match, and this was, like, a few years ago. Like, now, on Tinder, it's like, because there's, like, this screen, men feel like they can just say anything. I guess, like, would a man actually say this stuff to a woman in real life?
Michael?
I think that, yes, that does happen in real life, but it's usually at 2 a.m. where men are looking to do one of the two Fs, either fight or fuck, right? So at 2 a.m. But I don't think generally at 10 a.m. in the morning after yoga session would they say that type of stuff.
Well, okay, so I want to play devil's advocate to this. I'm like, the guy, at least he's honest, right? He's like setting his intentions. Yeah. He's telling you what he's after, which is your vajay. I mean, I feel like, fine, better this than a bait and switch. That's what I think.
That's true, because you got you'll have the people that will wine and dine you, and that's really what they're looking for.
Exactly. What's the point of going through all that hoopla when all he wants to do is sleep with you, when he can just cut straight to the chase, so you're not like taken aback by it or surprised by it when he asks for it.
But I feel like Match.com is like the one that's known for like people that are more serious relationships, like paying for the service.
A little more highbrow.
Yeah, but you know what? I would say this, Shirley, he probably has profiles up on everything. Like, I feel like this guy is a numbers guy. He's playing the numbers game. He's got something up on Match, something on Tinder, Hinge. He's probably got something on Tindog.
Filling the funnel as best as he can. And I do have to agree with you, Yue. I think that the fortunate and unfortunate thing is that he's being upfront in the beginning. And, people can say no. Right? People then have the option of saying no. And then if there is someone that happens to be in the same boat, for the wake and sext, then they can actually say yes. And so he's at least allowing for that option to happen at the beginning. It may be a little abrasive in some ways, but it does kind of get to his truth of what he wants.
It's a filtering system, really.
Mm-hmm.
My theory is there's like one woman that said yes, and then like it gives men this hope that it could be this simple.
And that's all they need is just one.
Just one.
Just one. And you know those messages, I mean, I hear this from my guy friends all the time. They'll do like copy and paste messages. So anything you're getting, probably 10 other girls are getting it at the same time.
I know.
So I think the takeaway here, there are a couple things. One is I think setting intentions from the beginning is not a bad thing. And also, how do you respond to something like that as a woman, right? And I think that's the question you're asking. I think it's perfectly normal and honest to be like, great for you. That's what you're looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. So we can end this conversation now because we're obviously not on the same page. There's nothing wrong with this. You know, everybody's like after different things. So if you're not after the same thing, you should just tell each other. Be upfront.
And I said to him too, I was like, well, I don't think we're on the same page, so best of luck. And then we never actually saw each other.
Exactly. And for everyone out there, I hope that, you know, one thing that Shirley did, it sounds like, was she didn't take it personally, right? She didn't take this personally. This was just someone who was out for a specific goal, and it had nothing to do with the actual other person.
So I did have a few other memorable quotes if you guys want to hear them. They're not from the same guy. They're from randoms on Tinder, but they're my top 5.
Give us top 3.
Okay, so number 1, would you like me to give you 5 orgasms tonight? Maybe, actually.
Just 5?
Yeah.
So we have, I just got out of a really long-term relationship and I'm just looking to have sex. DTF, ? Honest, A for honesty on that one.
And there was a little bit of like a emotional pull, right? Like, I just got broken up. I was with someone. I'm in pain, right? Like the little puppy syndrome.
Yeah.
DTF.
So if someone has a hero complex, which a lot of people do, hey.
There's your broken victim.
There we go. Then this is the best one. Okay. You are beautiful. I'd love to eat your box for 7 to 9 hours.
Whoa!
And then no response, followed up with honey, ?
I mean, 2 things really stand out from that quote. One is who refers to a vagina as a box anymore? Maybe, I don't know. I've never actually met someone who referred to.
I did that, not me personally. I had friends, right? Never me Michael. Ever doing anything.
Never.
But I knew people that did refer to a box back in high school days.
I've heard the word box, but not in the last like adult life, I would say.
Something I'm taking away from this is the diversities of ways that people can say down to fuck, the emotional ladder here.
Totally.
Right.
I love giving her options of 7 to 9 hours.
Right.
9 hours, I would think that you might face.
Right. And I bet he probably has, when he comes in, he has a pizza box ready for 2-minute breaks here and there, not leaving. He has a, sweat rag and all that stuff to just keep going.
Please keep hydrated. I think water is really important in this sport.
Hydration for both teams is necessary for sure.
I mean, the question is, how many people did he send that text or message to?
Perhaps 7 to 9 a day.
So, okay, I'm going to move away from this because we have a few takeaways. We've already talked about them.
Yes.
Let's talk about a question of the day, which comes from our friends, our listeners. And the question that a lot of people ask is, okay, should you have sex with someone on the first date?
That's a great question. And may I?
Sure. You want to have sex with someone on the first date?
Right,
or do you want to answer?
Can we?
Okay.
Right, may I answer? Okay. I'm going to just take liberties here. I think it all depends, right? And that's an answer no one really enjoys, but it's the truth. Some people are just very physical beings, right? They enjoy sensation of the body, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think as long as both parties are upfront about it, then yes. Now, if one person is and the other person isn't, I think the one person can talk about as an option, and if the other person says no, the end. Simple, that's it. So I think it really depends on yourself. If you love your body and you like exploring it with another person and you just feel so attracted to this other person, I say have fun and be safe.
Let's hold that thought for a sec. We'll get right back to it.
This episode is sponsored by Via. We all know there are things that can help set the mood in the bedroom, but did you know a little THC could also do that? Yes, Via has developed a unique blend of pleasure-enhancing cannabinoids, libido-strengthening herbs, and a low dose of THC all into one mind-blowing gummy called High Love. This gummy, wow, it will awaken your senses, increase blood flow, and intensify any sexual experience. I've been pleasantly surprised by the High Love gummies because it is just the right amount of THC for me to have a good time without feeling sleepy. And hey, if THC is not your thing, Via also offers a wide array of other gummies without it. And everything legally ships in 50 states with discreet packaging directly to your door. So if you're over 21, you can get 15% off and a free pack of award-winning Dreams THC plus CBN sleep gummies with our exclusive code DATEABLE at viahemp.com. That's VIIAHEMP.com. Let the gummies work their magic. Head to viahemp.com and use the code DATEABLE to receive 15% off and one free sample of their Sleepy Dream gummies. That's viahemp.com and use the code DATEABLE at checkout. Take your passion and pleasure to a whole new level with High Love from Via Hemp.
As you know, I recently left my corporate job and I've been in total recovery mode, all about self-care. One of my new routines is the nighttime shower before bed. There's just something about washing away the day and that reflection that's been super helpful for me. I've been using one of our partners, Osea's Mega Moisture Duo. This combo body oil and body lotion are so freaking incredible. It literally feels like I'm at a spa. I realized that the secret is seaweed and other skin level ingredients that are normally reserved for face products. And that's why I was so excited when Osea became one of our partners. And, you know, we're so grateful for partners like this because one, they keep the show going, but they're also super good for all of our listeners and for our own well-being. So if you want to have that nighttime bliss like I am doing, you can get 10% off your first order site-wide with code DATEABLE at oseamalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order and free shipping on orders over $60. So head to oseamalibu.com and use the code DATEABLE for 10% off. Let us know which products you end up going with. Share them in social. Super excited to see what you end up choosing.
This episode is made possible by Badlands Pets. As you all know, Mojo, my precious baby, is the reason why I found love in the first place. He made me feel love again. So I would do anything to ensure his health and longevity. And actress Katherine Heigl and I have that in common. She's helped save over 16,000 dogs through her foundation. And after doing a ton of research, she feels there's one place we can look to improve any dog's health, and that's their food. So fortunately, she found that just by adding a few special superfoods to her dog's food, she saw huge transformations in their health. So she's made a 20-minute video explaining step-by-step how anyone can do the same thing to see incredible changes in their dog's health. I've definitely re-looked at what I'm feeding Mojo and making sure that, hey, he only has one life to live, and I want to make sure it's the best damn life. So if you want to keep your dog healthy and happy, go to badlandsfood.com/dateable and watch Catherine's video right now. Again, that's badlandsfood.com/dateable.
I'm conflicted. Okay. On one hand, I want to feel the sexual empowerment. Mm-hmm. You know, there's always this like women's sexual empowerment. You should be able to sleep with whoever you want. There's that book, The Ethical Slut. I don't know if you've ever read it. It's amazing,
yes,
right?
I've heard good things.
But the only thing is, I don't know about anybody else, but after I sleep with someone on a first date, I don't feel so good about myself. Oh. I feel great in the moment, but the morning after, I never feel great about myself. And honestly, first time sex is never that good.
It's never that good.
It's always awkward, yes. Or timing's weird, and you're like getting to know each other's bodies. So I personally think I agree. It depends on who you are. You should know yourself. That it comes from that self-awareness. But personally, for me, I always like to just get to know the person better to form some sort of emotional connection before I can really strip down and get dirty.
Oh, you heard that. Dirty. Christina Aguilera, that's to you.
Shirley, what do you think?
I feel the same way as you guys. I personally don't think it's like make or break for a relationship to start. is I've actually had a lot of friends that have gotten married to people they've slept with on the first dates. And it's not always the people that do this all the time either.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it comes down to just chemistry with that person. And I think a lot of it comes down to how you handle it yourself too, like Yue said. If you're the type of person that isn't going to feel good about it, then you absolutely shouldn't. If you're the type of person that's like, okay, I did this. If it becomes a relationship, awesome. If it doesn't, then whatever. Then that's one thing too. And I guess also depends what you're looking for.
See, okay, so here's the solution, by the way. All you got to do is have sex like 7 times in the first day so that you get used to each other, right?
7 to 9 times.
7 to 9 times.
And sex each other in between.
Of course, at 10 a.m. afterwards.
You know, what something sex does do is that it catapults a relationship into either flourishing or diminishing, right? So I actually think sometimes sex is an efficient way to measure if you're a good fit for each other or not. Maybe you just bang, get that out of the way.
I totally agree. I've had situations with both where we had sex and I was ready to just not see the person again. We didn't really connect, but then I've had sex with someone and I wanted to have breakfast with them and talk with them and spend time with them and then, set up for the next time for us to hang out. And I've gotten to know many people that way and got to actually enjoy. Sometimes the physical experience can lead to an understanding of the connection.
It can bond you more, for sure.
Absolutely.
So here's a question for you, Michael, because women always talk about feeling this vulnerability after sex. Do men feel that way? Or, I mean, I guess you can't speak for all men, but
I can't speak for all men.
But how do you feel after sex? After sex with a new partner?
Do I feel vulnerable? Not so much, but I think that sometimes I feel that my partner is vulnerable, so I want to kind of be there. If it's someone that I enjoy the connection with and I feel that they're feeling vulnerable afterwards, I want to try to take care of them and make sure that they're feeling in a safe space. Even if it's not someone I fully connect to, I still want to take care of that person. But especially if it's someone I felt connected to, I just want to show them that there's more to them than just their body and kind of just laugh with them afterwards and make some jokes and feel comfortable and do some of the weird, funny stuff like blowing on people's stomachs and weird.
You do that?
It's so fun.
That's so weird.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's so weird. You're one of those. It makes that weird farting sound.
Which is great.
I think it all depends on who you're with, right?
If you like that person, anything they do is cute. If you don't like that person, anything they do is creepy.
Ding, 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 ding.
If I liked you and you blew on my stomach, I'd be like, oh my God, that's the cutest gesture ever. But if I didn't like you, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, you weirdo?
Get out of my belly button. What are you doing?
Get out of my house. Girls talk about, that vulnerability, not just after sex, but after the man leaves. Because sometimes guys don't stay long enough. I don't know if there's such a thing as staying long enough.
I have a couple of theories. One is if a lot of guys, if they're leaving in the middle of the night, that means that they were just focused on one thing, right? They just wanted to have sex. But I do know a few guys that left early because they didn't know what else to do. They actually liked the person, but literally did not know what else to do.
What do you mean, what else to do?
Like after you had sex and you feel very connected with this person, but you don't know what to say, you don't know how to react, you don't know how to actually respond next in the situation. You don't know what are the next steps. So a lot of guys, they kind of freak out and leave.
You also don't want to overstay your welcome either.
Right.
Wait, so you're saying if a guy really liked a girl, he may feel that pressure to leave. Like there's just too much pressure to do something next or take it to the next level?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
And then he would just leave?
Yes. Because he doesn't know what to do. So what a lot of men have learned to do is if they don't know what to do, they're out.
Get the fuck out.
Done. Right? They don't know what to do. So just leave. I mean, kind of going on a tangent here, but we've grown up in a society where men aren't allowed to show their emotions.
Yeah.
Right. In certain parts, right? Not absolutes by any means, but there's definitely a shown up way of don't cry, right? Don't express your emotions. Go run it off, right? So they just ran it off, then they're done, right? So what do? They leave.
I'm glad that you're bringing this up into a localized perspective, because I read about this tribe in like Southeast Asia where the women have all the sexual power. So what they would do is they go to a social event. If they see a man that they want to have sex with, she would tap him on the shoulder.
Okay.
And he would come over to her place in the middle of the night, and he would have to leave before sunrise, and he can't use the front door.
So they definitely have a back door.
Or a window.
Or a
fire escape.
Or a chimney, I guess.
Somewhere in Southeast Asia. I read about this, and it's just the women have all the sexual power.
I think a lot of guys would love to know where exactly in Southeast Asia that is, so that they can book their flights now.
Is there such a thing as Walk of Shame for men, or is it like Walk of Fame?
I actually did the Walk of Shame the other day.
Ow!
Yeah, that could be for another story. But it outwardly feels like a walk of shame, but internally it feels like a walk of pride for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I figure so. Because it's not like you're in yesterday's makeup. You're not wearing that tight dress you were wearing the night before. You probably look the same as you do every day.
That's right.
There's no external differences.
Just a little more satisfied about life.
Oh my gosh, for 7 to 9 hours.
7 to 9 hours, well hydrated.
All right, we're going to wrap this up now. Don't forget to submit your stories. And remember, we can always keep you anonymous. You don't have to give your real name. We can distort your voice. You can change all the names in your stories. So we want to create a safe environment for people to submit their stories.
We will protect the innocent at all times.
And also,
stay dateable.
The Dateable podcast is recorded in San Francisco. We would like to thank our sponsor, 500 Brunches, for making this happen. To connect with us, visit dateablepodcast.com.